Hey everybody, it's Miss Nakilah
and Mr. Majors.
We want to thank you for joining us today on Speak On It, where we like to keep it fun, keep it real, and keep it aligned with the Word of God. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Shout out to the fellas for holding it down last week. Really good show, and I hope you ladies had your pen and your papers out. I did.
They didn't.
They probably didn't.
They didn't. They just did one of these us them men talking.
It's the men, folks.
Think they know everything.
No, it was a good show.
They don't know what is good for them.
Men don't know what men want.
Right.
Yeah. I hope y'all paid attention.
Yeah, they did.
So where my glasses? I left my glasses today. Oh Lord. Anyway, let's keep it moving. So now let's do a wedding update. If you have given me your email address, please check your emails. What are you looking at me like that for?
No, I'm just paying attention.
Okay, paying attention. So I'll say this, ladies. You know, we don't. I'm trying to stay on my soapbox for 2 seconds. Do not buy into the hype of having to buy everything for the wedding. You know, they make you feel like you have to have, $300 invitations. They make you feel like you have to have this and everything. It has to be so perfect. And, and all these traditions and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I sent out electronic invitations for the wedding because it was getting down to the wire.
And people don't keep cards and stuff like that anymore. Anyway.
I throw y'all stuff away. I'm going to just keep it real. Like, I throw away stuff, cards and, invitations and stuff. And really, honestly, I take a picture of it.
I would say it has been thrown away. So not intentionally.
No.
Not as much as intentionally just throwing it in the garbage. Just
I'd be like,
laying around somewhere and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't need this. I got the phone.
And then it's gone.
Yeah.
So we skipped the big fee. Now I do have some old schoolers that will be getting an invitation in the mail. But check your emails for me though, and then please RSVP. Why Ustin got a problem with RSVP? You will not have a chair on the circle. Let me just put it to you like that. He will be standing up and enjoying this wedding if you do not RSVP.
Chairs are limited anyway.
Yeah, and there's a list. Not that we're so special and important, but there's a list. There will be a list over at the reception hall.
Yes.
So with that being said, RSVP please. Please and thank you. Anyway, I'm a horrible RSVPer. I got an event I need to RSVP for already anyway. So that's the update. So we're excited. Everything is coming together. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. It's bigger than we thought.
Way bigger.
Oh, and if you would like to join me for my bachelorette party, I am doing trap and paint. If you've never heard of it, it's just like a sip and paint. Ladies, and it is mostly ladies. Men can come too, but I ain't talking to y'all today. Ladies get together and
She asked us that we want to go, so they can come to ours. So.
No, I don't want to go to his. So, instead of doing just like sipping wine and painting a picture, it's trap music in the background. It's totally ghetto, but it's fun. It's just like a live DJ, real hype, a lot of energy. So if you would like to come, please make sure you go out and get your ticket and then let me know. I did post the link to the event on my page, so I'd like to have you there.
It sounds like it'll be fun.
We're gonna have a great time. Something a little different than the normal, and then we'll be down with stuff dangling in our face later. We will not have stuff.
You will not.
And so we will not have things dangling in our face. Anyway, on before I get in trouble. That's my segue. Anyway, let me see who we had here. We had I think Kathy was saying hey.
Hey, Kathy.
Anyway, all right. So
hey, Kathy.
I don't know what happened to my notes. So 60 days from Mr. and Mrs. This is a lot about me right now.
It's always about you.
So God put it on my heart. Not really. God put it on my heart to do like a daily nugget, tidbit of information. And so I've called it 60 days from Miss to Mrs., where I'll be going from Mrs. Shannon to Mrs. Majors. And so every day I give a really good tidbit of information, just on different topics, things that I learned along the way, things I think could help you along the way in dating. And if you're wanting to be married, if you are engaged, and even for the married folks, I'm sure there's a little something that can help. We should always be growing and changing and moving. So please go to my Facebook page. And if you're on my other social medias, I send links there every day as well. And make sure that you check out the little video. They're no more than about 7 minutes, maybe at the longest. The longest one is like, I think, 7 minutes.
It's not long at all.
Yeah, so there's that. So more stuff to come from that little project in the future. He's making fun of me.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Not me. I'm not making fun of you.
You just giggling at me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I can make you smile. Anyway, on to today's topic. Fruits. Anyway, on to today's topic. So we're going to talk about the feminist mindset in marriage. I am not ashamed to say that I have the title of not, and we're not going to get all off into the different nuances of feminism and being a feminist. I think that women should have equal rights. I think that women are equally important. Yes, there should be. So that's the type of feminist. I'm not the far one. Is like, we don't need a man, and you know what I'm saying. But if I was born back in the day, I would have been burning a bra or two. So that would have been me fighting for women's rights. So I will say that's my ideal of feminism. What I'm being a feminist, which I'm talking about right now in today's show. Not the ones that say they just don't want a man or need a man, but those that feel that women should be treated fairly and equal and things of that nature.
Now I feel they should be treated. They sounds weird, but should be feet. should be treated equally. You know, but. So that's all I'm gonna say right now. Y'all should be. I can't get my word.
Does he really believe it? I'm trying to really wonder if he really believes it.
Because that's what I believe. You know. Mm-hmm. I'm just getting
tongue tied.
Yeah.
All right. So let me make sure I'm in the right place for everything else. All right, so that's the topic for today. So the first thing we're going to talk about is God's order, because we keep it aligned with the Word of God.
Try to.
Anyway, so God's order, what does that mean to you when it comes to relationships and marriage?
See, now this is where it's going to kind of backfire because.
Will it?
Yes, because and from what I interpreted, God's order is man, wife, and so on, the kids, and you know what I mean,
and the dog, and
yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's what I think of when you say God's order. You know.
So what do you think I think when we say what do you think my thought is on that?
Me, husband, kids. Wait a minute, kids, husband, dog, then husband. No.
I am shocked and amazed that you feel that I feel that way. Do you really think I think that? You really think I have a problem with the order? This is about to get good. This is gonna be better than I thought it was. Let me clean my glasses so I can.
You are a sort of feminist.
I'm very much so.
So, I mean, I ain't gonna say, and I'm not trying to sucker out of what I just said.
No, don't backpedal.
No, I'm not backpedaling, but you know, there's some truth to that, but it's not me. As in you know, you up top. It's not like that almost. So in your mind it goes like this. Me and you like this down, or you saying that I think like that you're above me? Yeah. No, not above me. That's what I didn't want to get across. I'm just trying to get some clarity. It's kind of hard to explain, you know. So it's what. So what do you? I do not think that way. Let me just go ahead and help him out. I do not think that way. I call myself a Christian feminist, meaning or a feminist Christian. I don't know which way you want to put it. Christian feminist. So I do believe in God's order in relationships and marriage. I do believe man is the head of the household, and then I do believe that the woman
submissive to her husband. But I also know the word though too, and it says submit yourselves one to another. So I know that at the end of the day, ultimately the man is the head of the household, and that's where the decision lies. But I also know that then I'm after the man. But I also know that we should be submitting. It should be almost like a cycle sometimes on certain issues. But at the end of the day, you're the man.
Yeah. So I mean, that's how you are. I ain't gonna say that's not how you are. But yeah. No, that's how you are. You know, you do put me first. And
you know, it's hard sometimes with kids. You know, it's always this great plate debate. That's what it's called, the great plate debate.
Great plate debate?
Yes. Whose plate do you make first? The husband's or the kids? You make your man's plate first. Now, I grew up with grandpa's plate being made first and then put it up. Like, for you, I know my household, I got savages. So, when that food hit the counter, you got 5 seconds to make that plate or you are starving. You know what I'm saying? So, I try to make your plate to put it up because then after that, you're not going to eat. You just literally just won't eat.
Now, I don't necessarily demand my plate to be made first. You know, I don't mind the kids, you know, getting a serving before me, you know, as long as I get some.
Right.
You know, so
yeah,
it's not a big demand. I want my food first. You know, wait till I'm done eating to get your plate.
Make your plate
me, look in the corner.
Ray said, make your plate or make your plate and end the debate. Now I just want to make sure everybody can eat, boy. Sometimes I gotta ration that stuff out because they'll eat like you ain't fed them. So then my next question is, and I probably more for me, but to get your perspective on it, can a feminist be happy in a traditional marriage?
It depends on what level the feminist is. You know, because if she like a level 10, no, she ain't gonna be married long or.
Oh, why they always have to be gay? Why is every feminist gay?
I didn't say nothing about gay.
No, I didn't say you did. Boy, I did not say. I said no. I can't even get it straight now.
I don't even know where that came from.
It was my own thought to say. You said if she's a 10, she's not gonna be happy, and then I was agreeing to say yes. But and why is it that every feminist seems to be gay? Like a level 10, like you automatically just. Like you just hate men so much. I don't want none of you. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna kick you all out. I'm gonna need some parts of you. I like to keep around. Don't judge me in my need for males. But for a man. Oh my God, this is gonna be a very touchy subject today. I see.
What you the touchy?
We're gonna go home quiet today.
Y'all are both being super sensitive right now.
Oh my God. Anyway.
So no, I don't think a level 10 feminist would be.
What about a level me feminist?
Yeah.
Do you think that I struggle?
The name.
Oh my God, that's the next segment.
Yeah. So
this name change.
You are probably right on the cusp of.
I'm like a level what, 6 or something?
5 3/4.
I mean, I'm watching for Planned Parenthood during the parades and stuff.
I think you are. You want to be feminist, but then you're kind of like teetering over here a little bit.
You saying I'm a traitor feminist?
I ain't say a traitor. I ain't say a traitor.
Faux feminist.
Boom.
I am not a faux feminist. It is a spectrum, and I fall more towards the end that we love men, but daggone it, you gonna treat us right too.
Now that I can understand.
Yeah.
So
empowerment, girl power. I'm feminist Beyonce level. How about that? Is that a level? Let me know, ladies. Beyonce level feminist.
Lord. I think your real goals in life should be to not be on Beyonce level for anything.
What about her bank account? Maybe?
I stand corrected.
Okay. Because that bank account. I'm just saying. So let's just get on.
Where does somebody like that bank at? You know what I'm saying?
Just go up to
Chase. Got a Chase card.
I'm gonna swipe my debit card. She goes to Target and stuff, so she must have some kind of a normal bank card.
She closes down Target probably.
No,
goes at midnight.
Well, the one time she went, she was undercover. And then
that's
somebody
Michael
figured her
Jackson.
out.
The answer is wherever
Yeah.
she wants to.
Yeah. Everywhere for feminists. Now you got the other women laughing at me. They like, they're gonna have a secret meeting. We'll be kicked out. We're taking back your bra burning card. You know where that's where the bra burning part came from? Because men were protesting the war, so they were burning their their card, like their registration card type deal. Where I think it's called a draft card, and so I don't think that there was ever really bra burning at first. I think there was some afterwards, but it was just symbolic to almost like the draft burning card was the bra burning. Something I learned in my feminism class in college. On to the next topic.
She even paid for it.
Keep it up. I'm
How much is that class?
There is a class for it. I bought the book and then graduated and realized I missed the book and couldn't find the book, and I went back out to Amazon and rebought the book.
Oh, wow.
Like 10 years after I graduated. Anyway, I'm moving on. Hey, Matt Berry Hill. Matt's watching from Korea.
Hey, Matt.
Boo. All right, so this is debate. The name change issue.
Rats over there, Matt.
The name change issue.
Just
So you going first. He said, so what are your perspectives on changing the last name?
I think it should be no question to a woman that if she's saying,
I just can't wait.
Exactly, I want to be married, but when he say, okay, when you change your name, I'm not changing my name. That's part of marriage. That's part of the tradition to marriage.
Y'all know how hard it is to change your name?
That's part of the wedding, the reception, all of it. That's part of it. And something that's hard and with something that you want to get done shouldn't be that hard to do. If you got to change your name like 10 times, oh yeah, look at my name's finally.
He ain't the one that got to fill out all the forms, pay all the fees, go through all the business stuff.
You think he not going to pay the fees?
We pay the fees.
Yeah, y'all married at that point.
Exactly. We pay the fees. Our money will be won.
I'm still the one got to change over all my bank cards. Do you know how many automatic drafts I got coming out on my bank card right now? Do you know how much stuff is set on auto pay? You know how many credit cards Google has memorized right now for me that I'm gonna have to go in there and change them all over because I have to get new cards. I got to change my driver's license, my passport, my social security card. I got to change my work ID. I got to change my banking information. I got to change my, also my bank cards as well. I mean, that's a lot of work. I got to change my Facebook page, and then I probably just recently did that, so I got to wait another 90 days for that or something ridiculous. It's a lot of work.
Ramon says, no name change, no spare change, hashtag keep your hands out my pocket.
So I guess y'all already know. So here's my perspective on changing the last name. I'm going to tell y'all what I used to think and what I think more now. So I used to say, well, I'm probably not going to change my last name. I was really big on hyphenating it because I was just like that. I didn't have a really good reason. And then as I started to write my books and stuff, I thought, well, people know Nakilah Shannon. You know what I'm saying? People are not going to know Nakilah Majors or Nakilah Smith, whatever it was going to be. And then I feel like I was going to have to rebuild my name up with that name change.
If you say your name is Nakilah Jenkins, they're going to be like, oh, that's Nakilah? Oh, okay.
Maybe.
How many Nakilahs are floating around? I mean, just saying.
I mean, but still, so you feel like you build up your last name and things like that, and so it's kind of like who you are. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's kind of who you are, and so. But I tell you what changed my mind was my spiritual father, Pastor Steve. He said, no matter if you keep your last name or take his, you still got another man's last name. We keep our last name because we feel like it's keeping who we are. But even if we kept our mom's maiden name, even if we got our dad's last name, or even if we take our husband's last name, at the end of the day, it's still a man's last name. So it's not like we coming up from under this when we come up from under a man by keeping our last name, or we keeping our identity, at the end of the day, it's still a man's last name. So which man are you going to choose?
So I feel like the solution is to get with a guy who's was raised by a single mama and he has her last name, then you're in essence taking a woman's last name.
No, you're still taking her dad's last name. Even if your mother was a single mother and you take her last name is either her father's last name or her mother's last name. If it's her mother's last name, it's still her father's last name or her mother. I mean, it still all comes from a man at the end of the day. So there's no coming up from it being a man.
Right.
A rose by any other name would smell as sweet.
What?
It's Shakespeare. Y'all ain't never heard that?
Yeah, we've heard it.
What's in a name?
We weren't expecting it.
Right.
Yeah.
What's in a name?
Wow.
Y'all ain't on. Get on my level.
That's
I'm trying.
We are. You know, we got to mess it. That's the whole part of being married, a fresh start,
Right.
and something new. And the name is part of it.
And
Great point, Matt. Also, nobody's eating dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You said small dogs.
Just wanted to
clarify that.
So that, like I was saying, that's part of wanting to get married. You get married to a man, you know, the man of your dreams, supposedly. You know, it's just not a.
Sorry.
It's just see Papa. So it's the man of your dreams, but he's good enough to marry, but not good enough to take his last name. You know, that's kind of like
where you see it.
Yeah.
Well, is she good enough to marry and not take her name?
Oh, that's the alternatives.
I actually work with a guy who took his wife's last name, and right or wrong, we made fun of him so bad.
Exactly, because it's. I think it's part of the marriage. You know, just like the
Why
tradition
is that, though?
of you know the tradition of being married. You know, like.
And because it goes all the way back to when names meant something.
Yeah,
just like
you
your
are
word
the son,
meant
you
something.
are the daughter of Harvey. You know what I'm saying? So, you
now
know,
the property of majors.
That's like, you know, you getting married. This will totally throw marriage out the window for a woman. And, you know, man proposes, man of your dreams, and then he stands up and says, "Oh, we're not having a wedding." What would happen then?
You better have a good reason why.
You just don't want one.
Or if he's a man, you talking to the wrong person.
No, I'm just saying.
I would marry you on a Wednesday in front of a cardboard box
That's
with a guy
me.
that pretends to be a preacher. So it don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't matter to me.
Now you a faux feminist and you got a faux marriage.
You know, you tell a woman that's been wanting to be a bride all her life. You know, and that starts when y'all little. You know, she want to be
That's
a
a whole
bride
other show too.
And wants the gown and everything, want to walk down the aisle, then get a man to propose to you, and he be like, "Oh, we're not having a wedding. You're not going to be a bride. Here go a ring."
And then just call it a day.
Yep.
That's how y'all. That's really how y'all feel when we say we don't want to take y'all last name.
No, I'm just
for
saying.
the record, I'm taking his last name.
Is it
no
the same?
problem,
I mean,
but
that's pretty much the same way, ain't it? The same thing.
I don't know how y'all really feel about it. We let me tell y'all from the feminist standpoint, we are losing our identity in a sense. That's what it feels like almost. It's almost this fear of losing your identity because now what we want, what we just be, and it's more than just the name. It's the whole concept of marriage. Yes, we want to be married. Yes, we want to do this and that. And the longer we wait in life to get to that point of marriage, the more we've come out of the fairy tale and the fantasy of relationship and marriage, and we understand more of the reality side of it. And now we realize we are losing some of who we are. When we little girls and we get married, all we think is, oh, I can't wait to get married. It's going to be great. And I'm going to have a bunch of kids and I'm going to just stay at home and I'm going to do this and do that because we young and we haven't gotten a chance to find out who we are. But the longer it takes for us to get married, now, me, for example, so I've established a ministry. I've established, somewhat of a, I've established my ministry. I've established my businesses. I've established, I went to college. I know who I am. I know what my hopes and dreams are. I know what I see for myself in the future. You know what I'm saying? And all these things. My kids are here. They blah, blah, blah. All of these things. So there's not a real big fantasy left for me. So I know that when I get married, Now, you were my fantasy always, but but when I get married, I'm still losing some of me.
How?
It's just what it feels like.
But
I can't just jet set across the world and go speak to women in different places and, not understand what your needs are. Maybe you not jet setting with me. I was supposed to be building huts in Africa. You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to be teaching girls in Africa. Who's to say you want to go? So now at this point, I have to decide on, do I pursue who I wanted to be and what I thought I wanted, or do I make sure I tend to the needs of my husband?
Well, that should have been decided before y'all was married.
I mean, yeah, but did you ever know I wanted to build huts in Africa?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Oh, good. See, look at that communication in the beginning.
And forget about it.
No, I'm just saying we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
So, speaking for some of the women, that's where that really, comes from. It feels like you lose a part of yourself.
And I think they shouldn't get married then.
I feel like I lose a little bit of, I lose a little bit of Nikki. We're going to get to this other topic in a second.
Because you shouldn't feel like you losing yourself, once you get married, because you're changing your name.
But you have to, marriage and love is sacrificial. You are sacrificing of yourself for the marriage. So you are it's a give and take. So I'm losing a little bit, but I'm also gaining a lot more. That's the way I see it.
See, and I see it as you're not losing. You might lose.
I'm losing Shannon.
Actually,
I'm losing the Shannon part of me.
But it should be easy to put in the work. Well, it may be hard to change your name, all the different stuff. Yeah, it may be a little hard, but at the same time, you finally hit a goal that you've been wanting to hit. So that should make it overweigh the tediness of changing your name.
Yeah, it's a little.
Would you look at marriage as women have achieved a goal?
No, well, a lot of women want to get married. You know what I'm saying? So when they get married, changing their name should be like, okay, I'll do it, no problem. That's part of being married.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, Josh. Quit trying to start stuff, man. Trying to get me in trouble.
I say it as somewhat of a.
I want to hear explanations. I'm asking what the people are thinking.
Okay, got you.
Because I wouldn't mind. Listen here, Brother Majors. So I wouldn't. I don't mind saying that it's a goal. It was, it was definitely something that I desired. So I do feel like I've achieved that. We'll be achieving that. So that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yay me. And so it's not so much that it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain that feeling of a little piece of you. The Shannon has been with me I'll be 40 this year. I've been Shannon for 40 years. Then I won't be, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just that little bitty piece of you that it kind of goes away. It's almost like when your kid goes off to college or something. They've been there for 18 years and you've had them, and then they kind of go away. Are you excited about their next level? Yeah, but on the inside a little bit, you still like, oh, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right.
I understand what you're saying, but I just think it should be like, you signing them papers or.
It's definitely happy. I've scribbled your last name over the years.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
I've
saying?
seen the papers.
Whatever. Anyway, so some of the other alternatives
murals.
So some of the other alternatives from just keeping your last name is we got hyphenating the last name. That y'all don't really dig that either. That's kind of dumb.
I think it is.
I was going
to change all
the paperwork, right?
Yeah. So
I was going to turn my middle name, my last name, into my middle name, so I would have been Nakilah Shannon Majors, just so I could keep the piece of Shannon. Wow. It's so weird, but anyway, that's an alternative. Then I do know, way back when, my college professor, him and his wife did a heritage search, and then from there, what they found. They combined what they found out and they made a new last name, completely new last name. So they both went through the trouble of, changing their last name and legally changing their names and things like that. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
And I think your last name, for a man to have his last name, he needs to mean something to him. And for him to give it to a wife, I think.
You think it's something special?
I do.
So let me see. So the next thing is so I don't even know if I can articulate this properly. I'm going to do my best. So next thing I want to talk about is, so what can men do to ease women more into this ideal of traditional marriage? So you got a woman like me who has waited later in life to get married. And I do say waited. I just want sitting out there. I've been proposed to more than a couple times. So it's not like I never had the option. So we made a choice to wait. So I waited. Now I'm ready and I'm excited. But now the feminist side of me is like, oh my God, it's about to go. Oh no, we skipped something. Very important.
That's why you have a rundown.
I know. So very important. Here is me and Stacey's real debate. I do not want to be introduced, and I've already told my mother this. I do not want to be introduced as, now I want to present you with Mr. and Mrs. Stacey Majors. I'm going to absolutely scream and fall out and act like just a giant idiot if that happens. I do not want to be called Mrs. Stacey Majors because, that's not my name. He feels like it shouldn't matter to me. But that's just another one of those things of keeping an identity. I think that's one of those old, outdated, and antiquated rituals that we have when it comes to married couples. Calling the woman by the man's last. Oh, this is Mrs. Bob Smith. No, that is Sarah. That is Mrs. Sarah Smith. She is not Bob. That is not her name. He feels like I shouldn't care. What do y'all think?
I don't think it's a big deal because it's just a. You
want to be Mr. Nakilah Majors?
If somebody introduced me as Mr. Nakilah Majors, I'd be like, yep, I'm her husband.
That's not your name. That's my name.
It don't matter. Unless they walking around every day calling me, hey, Mr. Nakilah. Hey, Mr. Nakilah. Hey, Mr. Nakilah. But this one, I'll be like, hey, my name is Stacey, man.
And it's hard because both of us have what would be traditionally female names. Mm-hmm. He's our man. And it felt funny, though, sometimes when I would call to do when I would call to do questioning for the wedding, they'd be like, oh, what's your spouse's name or your whatever? I'd be like, Stacey, he is really great. Or
they used to do that.
He's my first love.
I would call the light company and they'd be like, where's she at? Like, this is him.
Yeah.
Then they started sending the mail as Mr. Stacey Majors.
Yeah. So, because I was like, oh man, we're going to run into one of them Indiana places. They're like, we don't cater to gay marriages. He's our man. I promise he is. But anyway, so that's our great debate. You guys can, I'm trying to get up my little questions here.
Yeah, you got to do a survey.
Yeah. So I'm going to do an official survey. But should I be offended by the fact, should I care that people call me Mrs. Stacey Majors?
Well,
like in the
not daily,
part.
not daily. Let's say coming in making an interest in the reception.
Yeah.
And they normally say just that, Mr. and Mrs. Stacey Majors. Should that be an issue?
Or when right after I now pronounce you man and wife, now I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Stacey Majors. See, should that be an issue?
To me, it's just the introduction. It's just a. That's it. Unless somebody's walking around calling you Mrs. Stacey Majors all
the time,
weeks after weeks,
Oh man.
I like Matt's suggestion. He said, "Why don't y'all both just change your name so y'all can, y'all can be Mr. and Mrs. Parker."
Matthew, no.
No, Matthew, you ain't going down, man. Not going down.
So, what are some of the things that you can do to ease a woman like me with some feminist fears? What do you think that a man can do to ease a woman like me into a faux feminist? Apparently, ease me into marriage and the idea of traditional marriage to help comfort me.
I don't think the man exists that's trying to convince you to get married.
I don't know. I don't like this Mr. and Mrs. thing. I don't know what I can do. I mean, I don't know.
You can, with that's different. I think to help, like for a lot of women, they feel like they're going, submission is hard for women. Now, I don't struggle with submission as much because I understand the concept by submitting to God. And if you can't submit to your husband, then you probably got an issue submitting to God as well. It's a whole nother subject. But I don't have a problem with submission, but a lot of women do. So how do men comfort women into knowing that it's okay to submit to me? You know what I mean?
I would think it's more of an action than just being like, just telling you. You know what I'm saying? You know, having their back at it,
making them feel like, you know, I'm gonna help you along a
Yeah,
little bit, because you do these things, you just don't probably realize you do these things, and that's helping me feel like a partner. You know that I will submit to you. You know that I do submit to you. It's not will, but I do now, even in this season that we in. You know, I will submit to what you say, but you also let me know I can be comfortable enough to do so as well. I don't feel like that you just total, and especially with the identity part, because I have developed my identity and my dreams and all that kind of stuff. I think that you support those, which is why we're here now, right? I mean, so you come and you support and you listen and things like that. So you still let me know it's okay, that I can still be me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to give up everything in order for us to be married.
June 24th, you're going in the dungeon.
If y'all don't hear from me by June 26th, call my mama. Call my mama and tell her come looking for me. So is women empowerment
you like
really?
Joe Dirt.
You still?
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen Joe Dirt. So is women's? Do y'all feel like women's empowerment / feminism, or being a feminist, do y'all feel as though that's ruining traditional marriages? Do y'all feel like that ruined marriage, the feminist movement, that it ruined marriages?
I think it can. I don't know if it has, but I think it can. It definitely can. Anything, side piece can ruin marriages. So, yeah, I think being a feminist can, because if she's a level 10, she just hate the man. He's just there, you know. He's probably softer than she is. You know, yes, honey. Okay,
do I have qualities that make you feel like some of my feminist qualities that make you feel like, man, she ought to be glad I love her? And it's okay to tell the truth. I won't hold this against you for years.
Let's come back to that question. I got to think about that.
Really?
But yeah, nah, you haven't.
All right.
Because if you did, we wouldn't be this far.
Really?
Yeah.
I can speak on the women's empowerment ruining marriage.
Yeah.
I would say no. I think men's aversion to giving women credit where they are supposed to have it is what would ruin, or has maybe ruined, marriages.
Can you explain a little bit more? Elaborate?
Well, men are not willing to acknowledge or accept women empowerment. So
yeah,
that conflict right there makes it a problem for a quote feminist woman who wants to get married to reach some sort of level of compromise with a man.
Yeah.
Or for him to reach compromise with her. Like, the whole relationships are a compromise period. Like you said earlier in the show, there's sacrifice. So if one person is not willing to make that sacrifice, which traditional marriages are women making most of the sacrifice and men not. You know, the sacrifice the man has to do is you have to be the breadwinner.
Yeah.
Right? And women have to sort of conform into whatever a wife is supposed to be and a mother is supposed to be. So I think the men's unwillingness to accept those changes would be more of a cause of ruining marriages.
Yeah. Your wheels are turning.
Well, I was thinking more of like she's just a hardcore feminist, you know. Here, babe, I get the bags. No, I get them. I can do it better than you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I was thinking of it.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I'm gonna touch on that real first. Like that whole independent spirit. We had that conversation on my brother's page. That overly independent woman, he called it. I think that, you know, like you remember they used to make fun of me. Some of my friends, some of my other faux feminist friends, I guess, used to make fun of me because once me and Stacey got together, you know, it's a lot of stuff I didn't do anymore. Could I do it? Yeah, I could do it. But if he want to do it, then okay. You know, laughing at opening my pop bottles or carrying a bag, or, you know, I don't carry groceries anymore. It drives my daughter crazy. Mom, eventually you're going to have to carry a bag. You're not helpless. No, it's not about me being helpless. But if he said, if the man said I ain't got to carry the bag, I ain't carrying the bag. And so all my friends had a problem with that, you know. But I'm like, somewhere you have to show a man that he's needed. Somewhere you have to kind of submit to the fact that you have to show him that he's needed. Even if you can do it yourself, you still have to let him know that he's needed in a way. Of course, you don't have to have him there,
and he knows that.
And they know it. Yeah. And you can't throw it up in their face. He has to know that he's wanted. He, you know, even if you make $30,000 more a year than he do, make him pay the light bill. You know what I'm saying? Or make him put some gas in your car. Because I mean, men just have to feel they have to feel needed. And then the other side of that is, I think that the feminist movement ruined bad marriages and potential bad marriages, the women empowerment, because now women know that you don't have to take that. You know, I don't have to find my identity in a man. I can find it in myself.
That's my point of men not compromising.
Yeah.
Allowing those women to grow.
Yep, and that's what kind of sparked that thought there. So, you know, and that's really what, you know, I see with that. So I think that feminism or women's empowerment did ruin marriages, but it was just the really bad ones, which I shouldn't have been in anyway. So let's see, are we to Stacey and Nikki, or do we have time for another one or two?
One or two what?
Like a topic, like a question topic type deal.
You guys one more question. There's no more on the rundown.
No, there's just a list of them. I had the one that said documents. And it was a list, it was a thing that I had found online, and it said 28 reasons. Basically, why marrying a man who understood feminism or understood being a feminist, why it was great for those two people to be in a relationship together that understood women's empowerment, and now I can't find it. I got it up, but
I think that's almost self-explanatory. You know, he understands she needs to grow.
Yeah,
you know?
like one of the benefits of that was there's parity in your relationship. You push each other to reach your goals and full potential, because ultimately you know you're stronger as a team. And when I read that, I thought that was a really great benefit to be with a man who understands who you are, what your strengths are, so they can push you to do that and not just say, oh, now we're gonna get married, you got to stay home in the kitchen and have babies, and you can't even have a stay-at-home job. You know what I mean? So that was one of the benefits of it. We're gonna wrap it up to Stacey.
Just saying, you working
before we
she working.
Stacey and Nikki love.
I said steaky.
That do sound good, some steak. Y'all got the grill out back.
Are you going first or am I going first?
You going first.
I'm going first?
Yes.
All right. So
ladies first.
My Nikki tip of the day, Stacey Nikki tip, whatever it is, I don't know. My tip is this, ladies, even if we are faux feminists, as the men have said today, there's nothing wrong with that, but you do have to understand that there's somewhat of an order. There is an order to relationships if you are going by biblical principles, and that man being the head of the household. And even in the world, we still want men to be there to protect us and to cover us and keep us and provide. And so you still want him to be the head of the house. You got to let go of some of those thoughts and some of those feelings of, I can do it myself. I don't need nobody. You have to let go of those ideas and learn and understand submission to have a better relationship with the right man. The right man. Thank you. It's your turn.
Damn it. I would say, just off the top of the head, would be compromise both ways. You know, and in order to compromise, you got to have some kind of understanding. You know, so look at it through.
From my point of view.
Yeah. So
can I add a little to something to
you
yours
can,
for the man?
Because I'm
going to add this a little bit for the man. If you are marrying a older woman, when I say older, I mean somebody out of their 20s, and they've somewhat established themselves. They have goals, dreams, been through college, blah blah blah. If you are marrying somebody that is an older woman, you have to understand that there might be a small fear that she's losing a part of herself. And you got to love her through that process. And you got to understand that she's going to feel that. It has nothing to do with how she feels about you. It has a little bit to feel that she is losing a little bit of herself. And she's happy about everything else she's gaining. But you just got to show a little compassion.
So what you say, get them young? Bring them young? I'm sorry, that was...
You know what, we're going to wrap today's show. Don't forget to join me every day for my tidbit of information 60 days from Miss to Mrs. I think I'm on day 48. I think we're on day 48. It's either 48 or 47. I got to double check, but make sure you join. And if you haven't watched the other videos, please go back and enjoy them. They're really quick videos. And if you have given me your information for the wedding, please go check your email. Please, RSVP, people. I need you to RSVP so you can have enough sandwiches for you or something. I am Miss Nakilah.
And I'm Mr. Majors.
Thank you for joining us this week on Speak On It, where we like to keep it fun, keep it real, and keep it in line with the Word of God. You guys have a great week. Peace.